the program coordinator, and dear participants. A very good morning to all. Myself, Dr. Pooja, Assistant Professor of Medicine, feel very privileged to welcome all of you on behalf of this institution to 5-day international webinar series on applications of Ayurveda, medicine, and technology to combat COVID-19. We are very happy to share with you that this is the first time the institution is organizing 5-day international webinar series. Let me brief about my college. Government Corporate College, Vijayanagar, Bangalore, came to its existence in the year 1852. At present, it has over 2,800 students in various streams of PG, and research programs. The college is affiliated to Bangalore University and is re-accredited by NAC with B grade with CGPA score 2.73. The institution is proud to have many ongoing and competitive university sponsored projects. And to add our pride, our students from UT and PT streams have secured university grants and gold medals in the previous years. With this brief introduction and by offering a big salute to Aruna Bangalore, start our webinar. To start with, I request M. Shubha, Associate Professor and HOD of Chemistry, to welcome the participants formally and also do an introduction of our speaker.
Good morning, all of you. It's my privilege to welcome all of you today for today's session. I welcome the special speaker today, Dr. Smita B. Nambiar, to the session. I welcome our principal, Dr. Shubha Ramesh, to the session. Also, I welcome Dr. Shubha, IQAC coordinator, and all the other members to the session. I welcome all of you participants, the faculty who have gathered for the session, and all the students who have registered and who are participating in this session. Coming back to the speaker, it is my privilege to introduce our chief guest, the speaker, Dr. Smita B. Nambiar. She is the medical director and partner of Al-Ibtisama Al-Mushrik Herbal Treatment Center, which is unique and pioneer in systematic Ayurveda treatment in Middle East region, handling chronic ailments including rheumatoid arthritis, stroke, psoriasis, Parkinson's disease, infertility, eczema, ADHD, etc. UAE being an international hub, helping more than 55 nationalities with Ayurveda treatment. Patients from countries including Jordan, Egypt, Syria, Pakistan, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, etc. avail the Ayurveda treatment at this center. Dr. Smita is an independent, licensed medical practitioner from Ministry of Health, UAE. Academic credentials include she is the first rank holder and gold medalist of University of Kannur, Kerala. She is the topper of all universities of Kerala for that year. She received Himalaya Jivaka Award, Nagarjuna Award for Best Ayurveda Student, Kunjiraman Vaidyar Award. She has 17 years of clinical experience, out of which 14 years of experience in UAE alone. Dr. Smita Nambiar, welcome to the session. We are very happy to welcome you here. I request our principal, Dr. Shubha Ramesh, to speak a few words about our webinar series for next 5 days. Thank you one and all. Madam Shubha Ramesh.
A very warm morning, one and all. Respected responsible of today's webinar, esteemed participants, and my relevant colleagues. It's with immense pleasure I congratulate the Departments of Chemistry, Botany, and Zoology for organizing the series of international webinars from today applications of Ayurveda, medicine, and technology to combat COVID-19. Indeed, it's a very, very relevant topic to discuss and deliberate upon. As Madam Tisha was sharing, ours is one of the leading government institutions in the state with around 2,850 students, catering to all the streams of humanities, science, commerce, and management. We are proud we have PG programs from Canada, commerce management,
Thank you, ma'am. The participants are informed that your audio will be muted for smooth running of the program. And during the lecture, the presentation, if you have any queries, you please type in the chat box. That will be clarified with the speaker towards the end. Now I request Dr. Smita B. Nambiar to start her presentation. Madam, please.
Good morning, dear all. Thank you for welcoming me in your webinar series. The topic for today's discussion is Ayurvedic guidelines to combat COVID-19 pandemic. Let me share my screen with you. In regard to this virus or any other, Ayurveda is for humanity, either as preventive, curative, or as rehabilitation. As we all know, COVID-19 pandemic is defining the global health crisis of our times, and it transpired to be the greatest challenge we are facing ever since World War II, right? So we know the culprit, it's the novel coronavirus. The novel coronavirus is a new strain of coronavirus which has been identified first in cluster with pneumonia symptoms in Wuhan city, the Hubei province of China. In human, it causes respiratory infection ranging from common cold to more severe symptoms. You are well aware of the coronavirus, what it has created to us. It had a huge impact all over the globe, socially, economically, and politically. So, we clinicians all over the world are busy with collecting data, what we can do. Till date, no promising therapy or treatment has been discovered. So the best and only way is prevention and again prevention. What are the best ways? That is to break the chain of the viral infection. All of you are well aware of the Break the Chain campaign. And the next point is where we Ayush practitioners are doing our best, that is enhancing our body immunity. Okay, we'll get back. Okay, you all will be interested to know whether was there any documentation in Ayurveda in yesteryears regarding these kind of pandemics? Has these been mentioned? Yes, Ayurveda has documented these kind of pandemic in Charaka Samhita Janapadodhamsani Adhyaya. That is, there was devastation of human settlements that happened in those years. For those times, people used to live in human settlements. So, if there are causes like pollution of air, water, climate, or some reasonable damages happening to the health of society, the reasons can be improper disposal of waste, distribution of polluted water, air pollution. We cannot deny that these all were happening in these years also before the COVID pandemic, and indulgence in unhealthy and unwholesome activities and failure of judgment and misunderstanding of the situation. The symptom documented in that times also, the manifestation was like cough, breathlessness, and fever, etc. This is happening even in this COVID-19 pandemic, if you observe. So, how well can Ayurveda correlate to these COVID-19 symptoms or this issue? Ayurvedic text tell us that our concept is based on Tridosha theory, that is Vata Pitta Kapha theory. So if for the future diseases to come, or if you cannot, if the name is not mentioned in the classic also, we can according to the disease manifestation and area of occurrence and the symptoms occurring, we can correlate it according to the Tridosha theory. So in the initial phase of COVID-19, we would like to, I would categorize it as Agantuja Kaphavada Jwara, and in uncontrolled condition, I can tell it's a Sannipadaja condition. That is, all the three doshas are vitiated. Moving further, for the management side, the management of the pandemic, I would like to categorize the subject, that's the people, into 4 target groups. The target group 1 will include most of us, that is the quarantine and home isolation subjects without corona positive tests and the health workers. The preventive management is the type of management we do in this target group. This is where Ayurveda can do a lot. And the target group 2 will include the subject with mild or severe symptom, comorbid and immunocompromised subjects, that is the patients, that is COVID positive patients. For them, we should do curative and symptomatic management. And the target group 3 will be the vulnerable group, that is our pregnant and lactating women, the children, and the geriatric subjects, that is old people. For them, we have to go for an integrated approach. And the target group 4 will include all the people who have recovered from the COVID. That is, we have to do a kind of rehabilitation in those kind of subjects. So these are the targets groups we will be focusing in the management of epidemic. First, target group 1. So the preventive measures in Ayurveda are well explained and documented in the Samhitas, that is Ayurvedic textbooks, in the Swastha Vritta Adhyayas, that is how to maintain yourself healthy and to boost your immunity. This can be practiced well with the daily regime or the seasonal regime explained in Ayurveda. That is the dinacharyas and ritucharyas. What we should do every day to maintain ourselves healthy or to be able to fight against any sickness that is coming to us, and whether we have to do any alteration according to the seasons. That is, monsoon is coming, it's another time where all the infectious disease will break out. In those times, whether we have to take it specific care, we can go through all these things. The key points in regarding immunity mentioned in Ayurveda, the first and foremost term you will be I will introduce to is Ojas, that is responsible for the Vyadhi Kshamata, that is immunity of the individual. Ojas, that is Vyadhi Kshamatva, can be of two types. That is Vyadhi Bala Virodhitva, that is achieved by improving the immunity of the individual, and Vyadhi Ulpadaka Pratibandhagatva, that is created by recipes that is specific in preventing diseases. I will be in the forthcoming slides, I will be giving you some of these also. So this is my personal favorite slide, the lifestyles for boosting immunity. I will ask you to think 1 minute what we do early morning as a normal individual. You all can tell me. You will brush and bath and all those regular stuffs. Whether Ayurveda can recommend you any other tips, So these are some of the important things that every one of us should include in our early morning regime. That is, we are all wearing mask and face mask and all, preventing our covering our nose and throat and all. Are there any further cleansing needed for these things? Okay, let's start with the early morning regime with waking up. According to Ayurveda, you are supposed to wake up 45 minutes prior to sunrise. That is the Brahma Muhurta, that is the ideal time for waking up, for boosting immunity. Drink 1 to 3 glasses of warm water every day. Then gargle with warm water with pinch of turmeric, salt, triphala and yashti madhu. If you go through the single drugs, all of them are antimicrobial in action. And Gandusha and Kavala or oil pulling is another technique mentioned in Ayurveda. It is like you can fill your mouth with sesame oil, then spit it out and do a warm water rinse. This is also a very useful technique. Then to cleanse your nose, you can use nasal drops. There is a medicine called Anutaila mentioned in Ayurveda, or even simple sesame oil you can use. Administer 2 drops of Anutaila into each nostril and take it out and spit it out through your mouth. This is the cleansing process for the nose. And in addition to that, maintaining your mental health also is very, very important for boosting immunity. I will recommend you to go through yogasana or pranayama and meditation for at least 30 minutes in the morning, followed by a warm water bath. So moving further for the day, I will recommend you keeping yourself happy and engaged, busy is very, very important. Either you are locked down or don't stress yourself indoors at all. Engage yourself in your work from home or whatever things make you busy. You can either read, you can do gardening, you can do even social media help us a lot to interact with our closed ones, and listening to music or whatever things make you happy and your hobbies. You have to follow it, and during the evening also, I'll recommend you again go for a meditation and yoga at least 30 minutes, and do indoor recreational activities with your family members, bonding with family. Everything matters, for boosting immunity. Then further moving forward, are there any dietary rules which we have to follow to boost our immunity? Yes. In Ayurveda fever chapter, the main reason for fever is recommended as indigestion. That is, you should not overload your stomach. Eat only when you are hungry in appropriate amount, neither too less nor too less or more. Don't overfill your stomach. Always eat fresh and warm food. Eat easily digestible food. Eat dinner 2 hours prior the sleep. This is very important also. And sleep. Adequate sleep is very, very important for immunity. Are there any other general measures mentioned in Ayurveda? Yes, there is measures in fever chapter mentioned in Ayurveda, like fumigation of house. Fumigation of every house every day you can do with antimicrobial drugs. This is a yoga of 7 drugs which are all antimicrobial in action. The composition is called Abarajita Dhuma Churna, which will be available in all Ayurvedic places. You can use it to fumigate your house. In a recent study conducted in Kerala, they were using this churna for fumigation in a labor camp, and it was effective 99% in controlling the infection. Then other general measures you all know, like using of hand sanitizer, mask, gloves, for cleaners like Dettol and Clorox, and cloth washing guidelines, for floor cleaning guidelines, and social distancing. These are all also mandatory in your daily routine. Then further moving, we will discuss about the target group 2, that is the real patient, the COVID patient. These are the guidelines Ministry of Ayush has given us to follow. These are some of the medicines. These medicines are recommended with the consent form from patient, either along with the conventional medicine, or if they are willing alone without conventional medicine also. So I will not be reading out the names of the medicines, but in first line of symptoms like fever, cough, sore throat, nasal congestion, headache, and etc. And in second line of cough, breathlessness, etc., and including myalgia, all these according to the manifestation, we can recommend these medicines. In mild pneumonia, also there are medicines recommended, and there are, if any of your near ones or relatives or friends have tested COVID positive also, you can recommend them some of the therapy is also mentioned in Ayurveda, that is gargling with rock salt, Yashti Madhu Churna Pada with turmeric, and application of Karpuradi Taila on chest, along with the steam inhalation with herbs including ajwain, pudina, eucalyptus oil. In those patients who have used these kind of techniques, the recovery was faster along with the conventional treatment. And in the patients also, you can recommend a diet, that is what to eat. The comorbidities including renal diseases, cardiovascular diseases, and all hypertension, all those are to be addressed also. So what are the preferable diet for the patients? Eat preferably, again the same rule, eat only when you are hungry. And there is a herbal tea I can recommend. This is as preventive, as good for curative also. This herbal tea with ajwain, black pepper, tulasi, cinnamon, and ginger. Boil these herbs in 2 glasses of water, reduce it to 1 glass strain, and add 1 teaspoon honey. This you can make it a regular use in your daily routine. Then 1 cup cow's milk with dry ginger powder and turmeric. This is also very good. And for the patients, and of course, you can use cereals, pulses, vegetables, and fruits. In vegetables, advise bitter taste vegetables, more like mamotika and moringa leaves, etc. And regarding the fruits, of course, the vitamin C, including fruits and also pomegranate and oranges. These are all recommended spices. Of course, the turmeric and cinnamon, all those I was explaining in the tea. All these are also to be included in your daily diet. Moving forward, our target group 3, that's our children and lactating and pregnant women and geriatric subjects. For them, we can even start Rasayana medicines as prevention. For children, I will recommend Indugandhakritam and Aravindasavam. For lactating and pregnant women, medicines like Palasurface, Ashwagandha Rasayanam, milk with ghee, etc. can be administered. For geriatric subjects, Chavanaprasha, Ashwagandha Leha, and Brahma Rasayana are advised. And there is a group, target group 4, they need rehabilitation. Of course, those who recovered from COVID-19 also, they have to restore their health back, to go back to their work or get back to their normal routine. So they need physical, emotional and mental support too. There is a quarantine period of 14 days after recovery also. Those time we can utilize for rasayanas like Vardhamana Pipali Rasayana and Vardhamana Triphala Rasayana. And pranayama and meditation are to be followed in that time also. So all the medicines, there is a disclaimer, all the medicines are recommended with or without the conventional medicine as per the condition described by physician table, prescribed medicines for COVID-19 cases. And Ushnatishna drugs have contraindication in pregnant ladies. These are the references I have gone through. Thank you all for the patient listening. Thank you all. Be happy, be healthy, be safe.
Dr. Smita, it was really interesting. We have got nice quick remedies to boost our immunity. Let me see.
Once again,
yeah.
Cannot hear you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So the participants are requested to post their queries in the chat box so that in case you have any clarification to do with the guest, we will clarify, because it is difficult to individually because of the audio problem. It will be better in case you write in the chat box and can share the same thing with the speaker, and she will be happy to answer your queries. Meanwhile, let me ask you, Dr. Smita.
Okay.
So we have actually you had mentioned like many remedies to boost our immunity. You know, particular proportion that you have. So is there like available in bottle so that purchase and every can have all the things whatever they require to boost different brands like and Ayush.
So
So whichever is best, that too we don't have any idea about that.
Sure, your audio is not so clear. You want to know the combination, like what you can buy from store or like that?
Some questions are there in the chat box.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Jisha, now I see.
Yeah. Yes. Think my question was not clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking like whether any quick remedy which is readily available is there so that we can have, because all are very lazy and they have busy schedule in their life.
Mm.
So we won't get time to mix everything in the particular proportions. And even if it is available, which brand will be better? Because we have Koteke, we have Ayush, and we have Patanjali. So many things are available. So we don't know actually which brand we have to go for. Is there anything which you can recommend which will be better so that it will not have any? Of course, Ayurveda will never be having any side effects, but still, because we always think about our health.
If you want to buy as combination herbs, that is from the store and use it, I will recommend you some of them like Haridra Gandam. That
Okay.
is available in Kottakkal area Vaishala.
Okay.
Then you can go for Chukkundi Pelyadi Guliga. That is again a Kottakkal product.
Okay.
Then according to Jisha Ayurveda, usually according to the body type, there is Prakritis, and according to the body, these are some of the immune boosters. Then of course I mentioned the for the children I mentioned Indugandha Gradam.
Okay.
Then for old people, Chavanaprasha is an option.
Okay. Fine.
As Chavanaprasha contain ghee and all, I will not recommend it for an obese person or
Yeah,
those who
for
have
children, it will be better.
any complaint for liver, etc. For them, Haridra Gandam is the best option.
Okay. There is one question in the chat box. The participant want to know whether there is any work going on regarding the preparation of corona vaccine in Ayurveda sites. Must be, because he or she has not mentioned exactly. Must be in Ayurveda. They would have mentioned.
The
It is
Ayurveda vaccination is our prevention, preventive measures. The immunity thing we were discussing. This is we are our own soldiers. We have to increase our immunity and resist the sickness. This is what we recommend. We prepare ourselves for any kind of diseases coming with our daily regime and seasonal regime. So Ayurveda works are mainly focused on these kind of medicines, and as you all are researchers and scientists, I would also recommend you all to come up and take single drugs in Ayurveda and conduct study. We clinician has limitation. We are focused mostly all our times on practice, and we are not so into research side. So you can also come up with those kind of researchers. We as Indians, we all should research on Ayurveda. I will suggest you.
Okay. Ma'am, you had mentioned about different doshas, like a few category belong to, like human beings can be categorized. So, which dosha people are more prone to this COVID-19? Like whether anything like COVID-19, any virus disease, viral diseases.
As it is an upper respiratory infection, I can tell you the Kabha. It's a Kabha predominant site. That is Jatrurga. That is above the neck. All diseases are termed as Kabha Rogas, and Kabha is the Adhisthana. So Kabha Prakriti are more prone. As you are in recent studies, also the researchers, the obese patients are more prone, and like that. So we can tell it's the Kapha Prakriti more prone to this sickness.
Okay, ma'am. We are seeing any other questions are there in the chat box? One has asked, there was mention of preventive medicine named arsenic album 30 by Ministry of Ayush. Will you recommend this?
Arsenic album is a homeopathic medicine. I am an
Yeah.
Ayurvedic practitioner, so I cannot comment on that actually. Hope that's clear.
One has asked, does Chyawanprash cause any hormonal imbalance in young women? Is there any studies on that?
Chyawanprasha doesn't cause hormonal imbalance. Chyawanprasha is having some fat content in it. So also if you take Chyawanprasha on prolonged time, that is more than 6 months, usually the time any Ayurvedic medicine you cannot take it for prolonged period. Also there is a span of 6 month duration, and also milk is used as an anupana, that is an adjuvant if you are taking Chyawanprasha. Otherwise it will cause liver damages if you use prolonged time without consulting or following up with the doctor. You cannot use Chyawanprasha for prolonged time. It has created some kind of fatty liver issues also in patients.
Okay, fine, ma'am. We take kashayas like for some diseases or also to boost our immunity. Also, we take. So, is there any particular time to take kashayas? Like, is it like early morning or evening, which will be affecting the body more?
Kashayas are advised to take in empty stomach. That is 30 minutes prior to food. That is 2 times, like early morning in empty stomach and evening before food, half an hour before dinner. These are the 2 times that kashayas are advised for easy absorption from the intestine. These are all herbs, The herbs are easily absorbed from the intestine when the stomach is empty. That's why we advise kashayas in empty stomach.
Okay, that will work better.
Better,
in empty
yes,
stomach.
yes. Arishtas are advised after food.
Okay, fine. One of the participants has asked, is there any particular remedy for indigestion which will affect in all age group, especially in children?
Yeah, indigestion is a very, big subject. According to Ayurveda, most of the sickness even happen due to indigestion. That is metabolic issues. That is Ayurveda term it as ama. That is either it be rheumatoid arthritis or it be psoriasis or like chronic ailments from any of these sickness. The first and foremost thing that an Ayurvedic practitioner do is to correct indigestion. Once the indigestion is corrected, we consider it as half of the problem is solved. So according to the condition and what is the symptom manifested, we have to give medicines accordingly. It's not like one single remedy. All the things I was presenting in the slides, actually, if you observe, it's for indigestion also. That is what we are following. First, from waking up to cleanse ourselves, to drink hot water, warm water, and all the herbal drinks. So these all, indigestion happen mostly due to the overloading of stomach and improper diet. First, we have to correct our diet and daily regime so that indigestion doesn't happen itself. So that is the first and foremost thing we have to.
One has asked, is there any kashaya to control madhumeha? In fact, we are deviating from the topic, which is to combat COVID-19. But of course, when it comes to Ayurveda, all will be having many doubts about the daily routine life. So that is why all questions we are getting based on the problem what they are facing regularly. So one has asked whether any particular kashaya is there to control sugar or madhumeha.
Yeah. Diabetes, prameha or madhumeha, we have it's a wide topic actually.
Yeah.
There are Ayurvedic medicines and lifestyle modification and therapy advised. Diabetes is something to be managed properly. There is not one single shortcut. There are medicines, of course, there are medicines in Ayurveda. I
So one want a clarification regarding elderly people have lower immunity. So anything can be suggest for them because they too want to come out because from the beginning the people who are above 60, 65 are informed to stay at home. So even they too want to come out. They cannot be at home only. From past 2-3 months they are at home. So that is not wise to advise also. Even they too can come out. Something should be there to boost their immunity also so that they can also walk properly, like freely. So can you suggest anything for elderly people to boost their immunity? Of course, they will be having lesser immunity, but still some remedy, whether you can suggest.
For older people, I have recommended you 3 rasayanas actually. Chavanaprasha, Ashwagandha Rasayana and Brahma Rasayana. These are actually in the form you can buy from the store, readily available in store. They can use it 1 tablespoon daily, 2 times per day after their food. And also in addition to that, they can go for the herbal tea I recommended, and meditation and pranayama are also very advisable for elderly subjects actually.
Okay, there is one query. We want to know how to keep Tridosha in balance at the present situation of COVID-19.
Tridosha in balance, actually, if there is vitiation of dosha, that is, if any dosha is higher or lesser also, the imbalance of Tridosha is the sickness as per Ayurveda. So balancing the Tridosha, if Kapha is more, we have to take medicines to balance Kapha. If Pitta is more, we have to do process like Virejana. You have all heard about Panchakarma techniques in Ayurveda, that is cleansing our body from the aggravated dosha. For Pitta is mainly in the digestive area, that is in our intestine and all these areas. So Virejana, that is purgation, that is cleansing our stomach, giving medicines to create loose motions. These balance Pitta dosha. For Vata, another Panchakarma is there, it is called Vasti, that is enema kind of therapy. This is to balance the Vata dosha. Along with the Shamana Dravyas, including all the Ayurvedic medicines, are also to be given for balancing the dosha. This is a wide subject again.
Fine. One has asked, is there any Ayurvedic sanitizer?
Ayurvedic sanitizer is actually, we are recommending all those hand washing techniques again. With hand washing techniques, you have to follow. Ayurvedic soaps are available, of course. Washing hands is must mandatory practice. Each and everyone has to follow all these days. And of course, turmeric is good. Wash with turmeric infused water. This is also very good antimicrobial in action.
No more questions from the participants' side. So participants will be very happy in case you share the PPT what you have shown just now.
Okay.
So that I can send the participants the PPT and also your mail ID or communication contact number, so that even if they have anything further, they can contact you through mail and they can clarify the doubts personally.
Okay, I will send you that, my PPT and email ID and address.
Fine. Thank you, Dr. Smita. Thank you so much. It was really interesting, and why we have taken the Ayurveda topic, because all will go for natural remedies. Though we are modern, we all believe in ancient beliefs. Like we all want, some remedy which is in Ayurveda, so that we can be very proud, because India is known for Ayurvedic remedies. So thank you for being with us. I request M. Shubha, Associate Professor of Chemistry, to propose vote of thanks formally.
Thank you, Jisha. It was very informative and very excellent, I would say, speech by Dr. Smita B. Nambiar. You have given a lot of remedies in this, I would say, COVID era. So thank you very much, Dr. Smita Nambiar. I would like to thank our principal, Dr. Shubha Ramesh, who has been supportive in all our endeavors. I thank her once again. I thank Dr. Shubha, the IQAC coordinator, and all the other members of the IQAC IQAC. This program, webinar series for the next 5 days, which will continue and is the brainchild of Dr. Shubha, our IQAC coordinator. I thank all the participants who have joined here for the session today. I thank many of the faculties also have joined. Special thanks to all of you and all others. Maybe some engineers have joined. There are scientists who have joined here. I thank all of them. I thank medicos who have participated in today's session. I thank all the participants from outside the country also. Thank you one and all. I thank our technical experts, Dr. Jisha and Professor Saumya from the Department of Zoology. Dr. Jisha is from Department of Chemistry. Thank you one and all.
Thank you all. We'll wind up the session now. And about tomorrow, we will be sending the schedule details through the group as well as through the mail. I request the participants who have not joined the WhatsApp group, please click the link in the mail so that you will be getting the notification through the group itself. Thank you.